Hey guys, I wanted to make this video because I think there are a lot of clues in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, The Lost Missions that can give us insight to the new movie, Star Wars, The Last Jedi. So, to give a little bit of background information, The Clone Wars, The Lost Missions came out to Netflix in 2014, a year before Force Awakens came out in 2015. So when this first came out, I kind of watched it, but I really didn't think there was much of a purpose for it. But I do now after rewatching it. So one of the story arcs in The Lost Missions is a Yoda story arc. So Yoda thinks he's going crazy when he starts hearing Qui-Gon Jinn talking to him, which is really cool. And Liam Neeson even returned for the part, which I absolutely loved. So this Yoda story arc reveals that the Jedi do not know how to talk to Force ghosts. That is something that they do not know. The Jedi Council thinks Yoda is going crazy. They think that the dark side is talking to him, that they're using Qui-Gon to speak to him. Jedi are always so doubtful. They do not know how to speak to past Jedi, and they don't know that they can do that, which is kind of hinted in Revenge of the Sith, but it's explored even more in this Yoda storyline. So Qui-Gon tells Yoda to go to Dagobah and not to tell anybody why he's going or what is going on. So Anakin helps Yoda escape so he can go on a little road trip to Dagobah, even though Anakin has no idea where Yoda is going or what he's going to do. One of the things that I love about this storyline is that they explain a lot more about how the Force works. So you should definitely go watch this on Netflix. It's still there. It explains how Force ghosts can communicate with people who use the Force, so they can communicate with Jedi and all that good jazz. So when Yoda gets to Dagobah, Qui-Gon tells him how the Force thing works, and he tells him that he needs to go to this other planet to continue this training. And of course, R2 is on Dagobah, doesn't want to be there like always. R2 is always stuck with things he does not want to do. So anyways, Yoda leaves Dagobah, and when he gets to this other planet, he meets these Force priestesses, and it's kind of trippy. Like, his whole experience on this planet is kind of trippy. And when he gets to this planet and he talks to these Force ladies, they basically tell him he has to go through these trials, through this test. Very similar to the test Luke had to go through in the cave scene in Empire Strikes Back. So these Force women tell Yoda that he has to learn this so he can train the person who is meant to bring balance to the Force. That he has to learn to be able to communicate as a Force ghost so he can train the person that is meant to bring balance. Now, when I heard this, I fangirled because, yes, the Skywalkers are supposed to bring order to the galaxy and all that, but there is so much talk about balance, and that balance has often been referenced to Rey. In the Last Jedi trailers, we have seen Rey talk about the balance. We have seen posters where obviously Rey is the balance because she is between Kylo and Luke, and so I feel like this arc connects to that. Now, maybe Yoda spoke to Luke off screen as a Force ghost. Maybe he continued to train him as a Force ghost, but Yoda trained Luke when he was alive. And in Force Awakens, Yoda is talking to Rey as a Force ghost. Yoda's voice is heard throughout Rey's vision. Like, in Return of the Jedi, we see Yoda show up as a Force ghost visiting, but he's not training him. So as a Force ghost. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we're going to hear more dialogue from Yoda speaking to Rey. And I wonder if this episode's are kind of prepping up for that. And one of the reasons why I think the Lost Missions ties in to the new movies is because there's a lot of talk about balance and a lot of hinting towards gray Jedi. So in this arc, Yoda goes on his little trial and he ends up facing a very scary version of himself. Bad Yoda looks like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. So bad Yoda represents Yoda's fear, and Yoda claims that he has no fear. Because the Jedi are all about purging all emotions, they claim they have no fear. Jedi say that you can't be afraid. So bad Yoda says, yes, I am inside you. So Yoda has to accept the fact that he does have fear, and he admits to evil Yoda, yes, you are a part of me, but you do not control me. So this basically highlights that the Jedi were unbalanced because they wanted to purge all emotion and they didn't want to accept the emotions they had. And the Sith unbalanced because they embrace emotion way too much and where it's bad. The whole point of this is to accept your flaws, to know you have flaws, but do not give in to your flaws. The Jedi were wrong with the fact that they wanted to cut out all feeling and emotion and not accept their flaws, while the Sith are wrong because they give in to all the bad things and embrace their flaws. So this moment highlights the fact that there has to be a balance. It hints toward the gray Jedi. I never thought that I would be frightened by Yoda. So after the whole scary Yoda experience, terrifying Yoda, Yoda has another kind of test vision where he's talking to Ahsoka. And it connects to what has happened to Ahsoka, and it connects to what's going on with Star Wars Rebels. In this scene, Ahsoka is asking, when I die, will I still be connected to the Force even though I wasn't a Jedi anymore? And this connects to what's going on with Rebels. We do not know if Ahsoka is alive or not after her fight with Vader. And Ahsoka is another example of a gray Jedi. She's a gray Jedi in Rebels, but I will talk about that for another time in a different video. So in the Yoda storyline, there is a scene between Sidious and Count Dooku where they are using Count Dooku's Force bond to Yoda. I feel like this is so important to the new trilogy because they are reinforcing the Force bond. A lot of people like myself think that Kylo and Rey have a Force bond, and this episode talks a lot about a Force bond. Why would they talk about a Force bond if they are not going to use it in the new series? There are Force bonds in other Star Wars material, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but this just reinforces the Force bond theory between Kylo and Rey even more so, because this storyline with the Force bond with Yoda and Dooku came out in 2014, literally a year before the release of Force Awakens. And in the scene, Sidious uses Dooku's pain to connect to Yoda, and I feel like that's a big hint to what's going to happen between Kylo and Rey. So something that I think is a huge clue that I do not think is a coincidence is the flower. In the end of the Yoda storyline, Yoda is talking to Mace and Obi-Wan, and he's talking about how balance is going to be brought back to the Force. In this scene, they focus a shot of this flower. They focus on this flower while the characters are talking about balance being brought to the Force. And the episode ends with a close-up shot of this flower. Now, shots in film and TV are done with a purpose. They're not going to focus on an object and waste their time with editing unless there is a significance. I feel like the close-up shot of the flower is linked into Rey's flower in Force Awakens. In Force Awakens, we see Rey's little home, her little at home, and they spend a couple of shots focusing on a flower that she has in her home. I feel like the flower is a motif. I feel like it is a symbol. I feel like it is symbolizing balance and symbolizing peace to the Force. And I feel like that is totally associated with Rey. I feel like you can't really catch this clue unless you watch Force Awakens first and then you go back and watch the Lost Missions. And this is a picture of Rey's flower in her home in Force Awakens. Anything in Star Wars canon has importance that can be tied to the movies, but I feel like this has a lot of relevance considering how close the dates were, how close Star Wars The Lost Missions was to the release date of Force Awakens. There are other clues and hints that you can find in different episodes of Star Wars Clone Wars Lost Missions, not just the Yoda storyline, but I just felt like the Yoda arc connected a lot. I felt like it connected a lot to the prequels, to the original trilogy, and I think it's connecting the dots to things that are going to come in the future of the trilogy, of the new trilogy. So those are my theories. I'm hoping to make other Star Wars theory videos before the new movie, The Last Jedi, comes out. If you have any theories you want to share, let me know in the comment section below. I love talking to people about theories and Star Wars. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please like it and please subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!